Ever wondered how the digital world around you functions? It's all through the magic of coding. At its core, coding is the process of using a programming language to get a computer to behave how you want it to. Every line of code is like an instruction, a step towards the solution of the problem you're trying to solve. In the modern era, coding has become a fundamental skill, as essential as reading and writing. It's the backbone of countless industries, from tech and finance to healthcare and entertainment. Whether it's creating a stunning website, developing an innovative mobile app, or even programming a robot, coding is the key that unlocks these possibilities. And it's not just for tech wizards or math geniuses. Anyone can learn to code. With patience, practice, and the right resources, you too can master this digital language and use it to shape the world around you. So, ready to dive into this fascinating world and learn a new skill? Let's get started! Today, you'll learn about a popular and beginner-friendly coding language, Python. Python is a high-level interpreted programming language with a design philosophy that emphasizes code readability. It's known for its simplicity, which allows programmers to express concepts in fewer lines of code than would be possible in languages like C++ or Java. But don't be fooled by its simplicity. Python is incredibly flexible, boasting capabilities in web development, data analysis, artificial intelligence, and more. It's a versatile tool in the coder's toolbox, used across a multitude of industries. From tech giants like Google and Facebook to NASA and Wall Street, Python is there, powering some of the world's most complex systems and exciting innovations. So whether you dream of launching rockets, analyzing big data, or creating the next social media sensation, Python can be your stepping stone. Sounds interesting, right? Stay tuned to learn more about Python. Before starting to code, the first step is to set up your Python environment. This process is relatively straightforward, but it's crucial to get it right. Let's walk through it together, shall we? First, you'll need to download Python. You can do this by visiting the official Python website. There, you'll find several versions of Python available for download. You might wonder, which version should I choose? Well, as a general rule, it's best to go with the latest stable release. This ensures that you have all the latest features and security updates. However, if you're working on a project that requires a specific version, make sure to download that one. Once you've downloaded Python, it's time to install it. Run the installer and follow the prompts. One crucial step during the installation is to check the box that says Add Python to Path. This step will let your computer know where to find Python when you want to run it. Once you've finished the installation, you can check if it's successful by opening your system's command prompt and typing Python. If you see a response showing the Python version, congratulations! You've successfully installed Python, but we're not done yet. Coding in Python can be done directly in the command prompt, but that's not the most efficient way. What you need is an integrated development environment, or IDE for short. An IDE is like a command prompt on steroids. It provides useful features like code suggestions, error checking, and even debugging tools. There are many great IDEs out there, but for beginners, I recommend starting with something simple and user-friendly like Thonny or PyCharm. To install an IDE, visit its official website, download the installer, and follow the installation prompts. Once installed, you can open the IDE and start writing your Python scripts. And there you go. Your Python environment is all set up and ready to go. Now you're well prepared to start your coding journey? So, let's dive in and create your very first Python program in the next segment. Stay tuned. Now that the environment is set up, it's time to write your first Python program. Let's start with something simple, something that is almost like a rite of passage for every budding coder. Yes, you guessed it, we're going to write a Hello World program. Why Hello World, you may ask? It's a tradition, a simple program that outputs Hello World on the screen. It's the most straightforward way to see if your environment is working correctly. Plus, it's always nice to start with a friendly greeting. So, let's dive in. Open your Python editor. It's a blank canvas waiting for your command. Start by typing print. This is a function in Python that allows us to output whatever we put inside the parentheses that follow it. So, type an open parenthesis and then an open quote. Now inside the quotes type Hello World. Don't forget the exclamation mark for that added enthusiasm. Then close the quotes, close the parenthesis and hit enter. Now look at your code. It should read print hello world. That's it. Your first Python program is ready to greet the world. But we're not done just yet. We need to run this program and see if it works. So hit run. If your environment is set up correctly, you should see hello world displayed on your screen. If you see that, well done. You've just written and executed your first Python program. If not, don't worry. Coding is all about troubleshooting and persistence. Go back, check your code, check your environment. Keep at it. You'll get there. Remember, every coder, no matter how experienced, started exactly where you are right now, with a simple hello world and a world of possibilities ahead. Congratulations on writing your first Python program. How does it feel? Great job on your first program. Now, let's understand the syntax of Python. So what exactly is syntax? Well, it's the set of rules that define how programs in a language are structured. It's like grammar in a spoken language. Without it, we wouldn't be able to understand each other. In Python, syntax is especially important because Python is a high-level language, which means it's designed to be easily read and written by humans. Let's start with indentation. Python uses indentation to define the structure of a program. Other programming languages use curly braces or keywords, but Python keeps it simple with white spaces. Each level of indentation represents a block of code. This could be a function, a loop, or a condition. If the indentation level changes, it means we've entered a new block or left an old one. Next, let's talk about variables. Variables are like containers where we store data. In Python, you don't need to declare the data type of a variable. Python is smart enough to figure it out on its own. For example, if you assign a number to a variable, Python understands that it's a number. If you assign text, Python knows it's a string. Speaking of strings and numbers, these are examples of data types. Python has several basic data types, including integers, floating point numbers, strings, and booleans. An integer is a whole number, a floating point number has a decimal point, a string is a sequence of characters, and a boolean is either true or false. For example, let's say we have the variable x. If we assign x the value of 5, then x is an integer. If we assign x the value of hello world, then x is a string. If we assign x the value of true, then x is a boolean. Remember, understanding syntax is key to mastering any programming language. So keep practicing, keep experimenting, and soon you'll be writing Python like a pro. With the basics covered, you're prepared to dive deeper into Python. As we take this plunge, let's begin with a concept known as loops. Loops, in Python, are used to execute a block of code repeatedly. Imagine you're writing a program to print the numbers 1 to 10. Instead of writing 10 print statements, you can use a loop, specifically a for loop, to do the same job in just 2 or 3 lines. It's like a magical shortcut that saves time and keeps your code clean. Next, we have conditional statements. These are the decision makers in your code. They help your program decide what to do based on different conditions. Think of it this way. If it's raining, you take an umbrella. If it's sunny, you wear sunglasses. That's precisely the kind of decision-making conditional statements do in your Python code. The key conditional statements in Python are if, elif, and else. Lastly, let's talk about functions. A function in Python is a block of reusable code that performs a specific task. It's like having a mini program within your program. Functions can take inputs, process them, and return a result. For example, a function could take 2 numbers as inputs, add them together, and return the result. Functions help to modularize your code, making it more organized and easier to understand. These are just the tip of the iceberg. Python also includes advanced topics like classes, exception handling, and file operations, to name a few. However, don't let the vastness intimidate you. Remember, every expert was once a beginner. So, I encourage you to explore these topics further. Experiment with them, make mistakes, and learn from them. There's a wealth of resources available online to aid your learning journey. Python's official documentation, online tutorials, and coding forums are great places to start. Coding is a journey of continuous learning and exploration. Enjoy the journey. You've made it! You've taken your first steps into the world of coding. Let's take a moment to reflect on the journey we've embarked on together. We started with a simple introduction to coding before diving into the dynamic language of Python. We set up our Python environment, preparing a foundation for our coding adventures. We then crafted our first Python program, a testament to your budding coding skills. Following this, we delved into Python syntax, demystifying its intricate structure and making sense of its logical flow. We dove deeper into Python, expanding our understanding and nurturing our curiosity. Each step of the way, you've been building your coding prowess, block by block, line by line. But remember, this is just the beginning. Coding is a vast universe, only limited by the boundaries of your imagination. I encourage you to practice regularly, explore more advanced topics, and challenge yourself with complex projects. Remember, the only way to become a proficient coder is through practice, so keep coding and keep exploring.